No trip to Chicago is complete without a slice of cheesy, saucy deep dish pizza.
Hey guys, I'm Alana.
Hi, I'm Herrine, and today we are in Chicago to start our journey to find the best deep dish pizza in this city. We know what we're looking for. We are looking for a buttery crust, hearty, robust sauce, ooey gooey cheese, and at the end of the day, that slice needs to maintain its actual shape. It shouldn't be this wet, sopping mess. So the 4 places that we picked are just undeniably extremely popular, and it's further proven by websites like Yelp and TripAdvisor.
Right, and then we cross-reference those on top-rated lists from Thrillist, Serious Eats, and Time Out.
All right, I hope you're ready because this is about to be intense.
Oh boy.
Are you ready to eat some deep dish?
I mean, we came all this way. Might as well.
Our first stop is Lou Malnati's. Lou has around 50 locations throughout the Chicago area, and the restaurant empire is popular with locals and tourists alike.
I'm a local in Chicago. The reason why I'm here is for Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza. I feel like I can really taste the difference in the cheese to other places that have deep dish. I highly recommend it.
So Lou Malnati worked at Chicago's first deep dish pizzeria, Pizzeria Uno, and eventually Lou decided to venture off on his own and start his own pizzeria, which is Lou Malnati's Pizzeria today. It starts with our dough being patted out in a nice deep pan. That's where the deep dish comes from. And it's brought up around the sides to create a nice solid base for all the ingredients you're gonna put in. Next, you layer down the cheese. If you're first coming to Chicago and you wanna try deep dish, I definitely recommend starting with our classic if you don't know where to start. Our classic has extra cheese and our exclusive sausage blend and our signature famous butter crust.
Oh my god. Never gets old. Cheers. I don't see how we're gonna get better from here. This is our first stop. Just freaking slice it. The crust, to me, it just adds that perfect crunch, but I feel like it's not, overdone. I think it's cooked perfectly, and it tastes buttery.
The crust here is called butter crust. It's actually like trademarked.
That's one of the things we're famous for. It's actually a trademark term.
It's trademarked.
I would too. I don't want anybody taking my coins.
And the sauce,
Yep.
it's the perfect balance of tart and sweet and fresh and acidic. And there's a perfect amount of fat so that every time you're taking a bite into it, you're not just getting like the same kind of consistent sausage layer that you're getting, but you're also getting that sausage fat. It's unapologetically like in there every bite. Like it's greasy, it's savory, it's sumptuous, and it melts perfectly with the sauce.
But I will say that while you're right, it is fatty. It's not too greasy, and I think that's because, again, the sauce has that
Sops
fresh,
it all up.
Right, it has that fresh tomatoey, like fresh off the vine. Can I be honest right now? I think that the fork and knife are holding me back a bit from like getting this all in my
But
mouth.
dish you're supposed to eat with a fork and knife.
Yeah, but it's like it's
You're
just
a true
slows me
New Yorker.
down,
Our second stop is Giordano's. It's famous for its thick deep dish stuffed with cheese.
For deep dish, it's either Giordano's or Lou Malnati's. And Giordano's just has a lot more sauce. It's very cheesy and the crust is absolutely delicious.
The most popular deep dish is always going to be cheese. But we do have other specialties, such as the Chicago Classic. The Chicago Classic will have pepperoni, fresh onion, bell peppers, and mushrooms. We put a layer of dough on the bottom of the pan. A large pizza has approximately 2 pounds of fresh grated mozzarella in a bias. The customer's reaction is generally amazement, usually awe, lots of pictures being taken.
All it.
Still going.
Oh
Still freaking
my
going.
God.
It's not a deep dish without a good amount of cheese.
It's deep with cheese. The cheese is the absolute superstar of this dish. The cheese is so fresh and flavorful.
Yeah.
And so like
Is it like a salt?
like plush that
Yeah.
it almost kind of tastes like ricotta. You know what I mean?
I still taste other parts of the pizza where I don't think it's just too much. I personally don't think it's too much.
The sauce is really good. It's not too tangy. It has
the herbs that you can actually see. It's kind of sweet. Still has that little like puree, almost kind of consistency where you can see the tomato chunks. I want to try the crust.
Yeah, the crust, I just took a bite of it. It's very, very flaky.
If this pizza went to high school, it would win all the superlatives.
Most likely to blow every other pizza out of the water.
Our next stop is Ginos East. The restaurant chain opened in 1966 and solidified its title as one of the most iconic deep dish spots after they hired a cook from Uno's.
Since I've been here 26 years and I've eaten it as a kid, I'm going to tell you we have the best pie in Chicago.
This is my favorite place to get deep dish pizza. I think it's just the layers. The crust is the last thing you kind of taste, but you get the richness of the sauce, you get the meatiness of that full sausage that's in there, and then you get that crumbly cornmeal kind of thick crust. It's almost like eating a sandwich in every bite.
For a deep dish pizza, our pizza is a secret. The dough recipe was created by the cook that we brought over to create the pie. The sausage patty supreme kind of brings you back to the Midwest. It's a Chicago original. That is the most popular pie.
Welcome to Ginos East restaurant.
What is it home to?
The best pizzeria in Chicago. The supreme pizza is going to be with mushrooms, green peppers, and onions.
I would just like to point out that this was not intentional.
Not planned at all. It's like mostly cheese. Let's go. All right. One thing I really am feeling about the sauce is that although this is like a meat lover's pizza, they put veggies in it, which I think breaks up the fattiness of the meat.
I like how the sausage is evenly distributed throughout. I just wish that it was thicker. Oh, I love bread.
Wait. It's giving me cornbread vibes, but not like overly sweet.
Not cornbread, like cornmeal.
Yeah. So what, if anything, is your favorite part about pizza?
Well, considering I just ate a layer of the crust by itself, I would say the crust.
Really? For me, it's all about the sausage.
And the sauce. Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I actually, compared to other places, I like that it's coated throughout, so every single bite I'm getting is a consistent bite of sausage.
Our final stop is Pequod's. It's a local favorite and famous for its unique spin on the deep dish crust.
Typical wait times on a Friday and Saturday night are between an hour and a half and 2 hours. As far as like Pequod's being recognized as a best deep dish or locals favorite, people, don't associate us with a big chain, which is great.
We do a Chicago pizza tour, and we come here on every one of our tours due to the fact that, in my opinion, this is the best pan pizza in the city of Chicago. The sauce is sweet. If you notice, a pan pizza, on the bottom, it's crunchy. The crust is phenomenal. So if you ever hadn't been here, come here.
So the key characteristics that make our deep dish a little bit different than anybody else is obviously the crust.
This is the reason why Pequod's has been nominated time and time again the best deep dish in Chicago.
Our caramelized crust is achieved by taking the cheese and laying it up against the side of a specialty pan that we use, and the heat literally rises over the top, burns the sugar in the mozzarella, and then caramelizes that cheese. For a first timer that's coming into Pequod's that wants to try the product, we always recommend a pepperoni and a sausage pizza. A pepperoni sausage combination, those work the best for us. So for us, we go a little heavy on most all of the ingredients. We want it to be somewhere between overwhelming and enough thickness to cook properly. I can eat this pizza every day of my life, and I don't know why, I don't get tired of it.
Oh my god, oh my god. These are some hefty chunks of meat. Wait, we gotta do it together.
Gotta keep up, girl.
I don't think I've ever seen Alana this impatient before. It's so bad. All right, ready?
Cheers. We're done here.
That was very satisfactory.
Mind-blowing. From the looks of it, you're like, huh, maybe it's a little, Cajun, or, burnt. For me, it adds the most perfect texture to the bite because you have all the meat and you have all the sauce and you have all the cheese, which is very, soft in your palate. But then the crunch from the crust takes it over the top.
You're completely right. The sauce, like you said, is very hearty and robust. A little too tangy for my liking.
See, I like a good tang.
So before we head back to New York City, can we just say that deep dish will forever have a special place in our hearts?
Well, I'll probably go to all 4 of these spots again and do the whole pizza tour again. We gotta do this. So do you think you have a top?
I think I have an inkling of an idea.
All right, let's get it going.
3,
2, 1.
Oh, okay. I was gonna pick in between these two.
Yeah, I was stuck too.
Okay, so but for me, the reason why Pequod's had kind of just one level up was because that crust was next to none, and that sausage had this very bold seasoning and a kick of spice that I feel like not any of the other places had.
You're right. I mean, for Pequod's, that crust was just delicious. But for Lou Malnati's, that butter crust though, it just melts in your mouth and it's flaky, and every single bite was just savory goodness. And for the sausage, while I did like the seasonings on Pequod sausage, I didn't get a sausage bite in every single bite. But in Lou Malnati's, the way that they perfectly distributed the sausage allowed for the cheese to kind of bubble up through, so then you got a nice creamy, savory bite every single time you dug in.
I do have to agree in hindsight, I wish that Pequod's didn't dollop the sausage on and kind of did the same thing Lou's did, where it was an even distribution of the sausage throughout. So yeah, I'm willing to concede.
Oh, sorry, so I didn't hear you. What was that?
Are you gonna rub it in?
Are you saying that I was right? Oh, okay. Plot twist. All right. So can you just say one more time what the best of the best
really
pizza
gonna make it rub it in
Chicago is?
Lou Malnati's is the best deep dish in Chicago.
Yes.
So what do you think, guys? Do you think that Lou's is the best, or is Pequod's, or is it one of the ones that we visited or didn't even hit up?
Let us know in the comments below.
Bye.
See ya.
Alana, you ready to have more deep dish?
No, but I'll take one for the team. It's my birthday. How does that count?